Well, voters across the region casting their ballots as we speak at some very high-profile races are getting the eye of our nation. Pennsylvania State Capitol correspondent Brendan Scanlon here with a preview of some of those races in the Commonwealth of PA, especially for that race for U.S. Senate, things he'll be watching closely for us tonight.
Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Election Day. Hard to believe the day is already here, this highly anticipated November 8th general election. So much at stake. First things you should know, polls obviously opened at 7 a.m. this morning. They will remain open until 8 p.m. this evening. Now, obviously, a lot of big races we're going to be keeping our eyes on. Of course, a race for governor between Josh Shapiro and Doug Mastriano, as well as the race for U.S. Senate between John Fetterman and Dr. Oz. A few different things we're going to be keeping our eyes on heading into this evening. The first, obviously, different counties such as Erie County, Luzerne County, Northampton County, counties that typically vote blue, however, that flipped red for Donald Trump in 2016. We're going to be watching those counties very closely, as well as Dauphin County here in Harrisburg, Berks County, Bucks County, and those blue suburbs outside of Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. Very important to watch this evening to kind of get a better idea of how things are going to go. The other thing we're going to be keeping our eye on is, of course, mail ballots. Now, over 1.4 million of them were requested in Pennsylvania. Keep in mind, Pennsylvania could not start counting mail ballots until 7 a.m. this morning. It's going to take a little while to get through, again, over 1.4 million of those mail ballots as county election officials work to canvass, process, and then ultimately count them before we might have a clear winner this evening. Depending on how close this race is, it could come down to those mail ballots, whether it's a couple thousand or 10,000. Any wider than that, we may see a winner tonight, but again, from what recent polls are showing, it's going to be a very close election, again, between Dr. Mehmet Oz and Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman. Much more coverage coming up later this evening, but for this Tuesday afternoon, I'm your State Capitol correspondent, Brendan Scanlon. I'll send it back to you in the studio.